We were way ahead of the curve on the environmental stuff. Everybody's been talking about the contagion of fatalism this week. The kids taken out of school to go crazy and wacky about it. Any comments on the environmental protests?
Yeah, today I looked at, in fact, a couple hours before we started filming tonight, several major arterial intersections in D.C. shut down all day today.
Yeah.
It took hours and hours because these people, they had planned this. They were chained together and chained big old trailers, and they had the chains going through pipes where they couldn't even use bolt cutters to get them.
Good visuals because they want to enslave society.
But my biggest concern is good old Mayor de Blasio in New York gave every kid the day off so that he could go get involved. Susie and Billy are down there, but chaining themselves to something to shut down things in the name of protecting our society, protecting our lives.
This is a ball of mud that's on fire from the inside, flying through ice-cold space at 66,000 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and we're taking off school to try to fix it.
This is a terrorist, eco-terrorism that's going on right now. They are terrorizing. They're using techniques.
They're scaring the children.
And a lot of the people they're blaming conservatives for that are terrorists are on their side. And this guy that killed all the Muslims in Australia, he's an eco-anarch. He's an eco-terrorist.
It's a religion. Let's face it. It is. You talked about the fatalism contagion of last week about this. And the problem is with this one, our public schools are the ones indoctrinating.
Shock. Imagine Tom's shock.
Yeah.
Well, and I loved how what we covered last week was all the ancient stuff. 1343, 1524, then all the news media this week with all your top talkers were talking about all your current thing. So between our show last week and the current talkers, it's just every 10 years we're all going to die every 10 years.
Can I give a congratulations to some of my friends?
Yeah.
David Cheney, Ben Harris, co-founders of Epic Charter Schools. You were just named by Tulsa World, no less.
What?
The Reader's Top Choice Best Public Charter School in Oklahoma. By the readers at Tulsa World.
Epic Charter School, salute, right?
Boy.
Yeah, so, I'm telling
Congrats,
you, it's some good things going on with this flanking maneuver we got going on.
Yeah.
Evidently, Epic has now asked for an investigation on Senator Ron Sharp.
Oh, we broke that last week, didn't we?
But they're asking for a criminal investigation into
beyond the
abuse of
but we broke
resources.
his alleged criminal actions, did we not?
Yeah, we did. So that's going on with them. Still waiting. You've got less than a week right now to switch schools if you want to get out of your failing, old broken down system
Indoctrination mill
and get into something that's 21st century like Epic
works.
Charter. You can get in before October 1st while they're still taking in more people, and you make what's called the midterm adjustments. And we'll see what kind of enrollment numbers we get coming up at the end of the year.
I wanted to mention, because this gets glossed over, and I didn't want our outlet to be guilty of the same thing much of the media is, the violence that's taken place in these ecological demonstrations. Your Antifa bros got together in Portland and started shooting projectiles at an ICE facility.
Oh, that's right.
And you look at, the way the media frames things, and we're, I think we're probably more thoughtful, introspective people as conservatives, and we want to give the other side the benefit of the doubt, and so we tend to not really nearly go after them as viciously as they go after us, but this isn't vicious, these are just facts. We've got to remember that leftism is the ideology of death and destruction, that leftism has put more than 100 million people into an unnaturally early grave over this last 100 years, and it is seen in every branch and aspect of leftism. These eco-terrorists have killed far more people than your most extreme, what they call right-wing guys, these Nazis, which are not, they're socialists, and it's so funny that the left is so successful in framing the argument, we get to hold the bag for socialists. Since when do you and I ever have to apologize for what some socialist does in Australia, or some Trump-hating socialist does to a synagogue?
I've decided for Halloween I'm going to dress up as Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada. I just don't know which version of him to dress as.
Whiteface.
Yes.
You're gonna wear pre-edit, pre-contrast adjustment face. You're all washed out.
It's delicious to watch them in a pocket.
Well, don't forget, according to white privilege accounting, one episode of cross-dressing is equal to one episode of blackface. So that's a wash.
And you do need a quantum computer to make that calculation.
But it's okay for me to gender appropriate as a female or some other newfangled gender, and the left will protect me. But as soon as I dress up as a Hispanic or Asian or whatever else, now all of a sudden they're ready to stone me.
But you've got to remember, gender's only a social construct too. So there's the cake, and now they're eating it too.
Yeah,
you're a sexist, but sexes don't exist.
Yeah, the inconsistency is just glaring.
All right, we're getting ready to get out of here. We got anybody want to touch on this whistleblower story, the big setup for Biden?
I guess we have to.
Yeah, let me just say it's been in the news that Biden was shaking down the Ukrainians, saying, "Look, if you're going to get this aid from the United States, get off my son's back. Don't be investigating all this corruption he's involved in." And evidently it worked. But
Bo Biden, his firm is getting like $166,000 a month from Ukraine.
Yeah, so Trump just calls them back, says, they're not in office anymore, and listen, you want to go after them, please do. And Trump, he said, please investigate if Americans are breaking your laws.
Right.
Investigate.
So now the left has jumped the shark so much that Trump is bad for just doing his job.
Yeah, Trump
doing his job.
Trump was bad for cooperating with Ukrainian law enforcement.
And remember, it was Manafort, really. He was involved with Ukraine in consultation. It wasn't Russia. Isn't that convenient? So you've got, it's a one-to-one comparison. It's the Bidens dealing with Ukraine, just like Manafort. So let's have a Manafort-style investigation.
And so that's essentially, and that's not officially come out yet, but it's the worst-kept secret. That's what it's about, is some staffer said, "Oh man, I heard Trump on the phone, and he's saying, please go investigate."
And that's not even whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is whenever you bring up an illegal offense.
No, and today they mentioned there was no quid pro quo in it. It was no, we're going to withhold it unless you investigate, or unless you find him guilty, or unless you do all this. Just said, please do your job.
It seemed quite obviously a setup. It looked like Trump knew exactly what he was doing. He said just enough. And then also, instead of him coming out saying, "Hey, I've got news about Biden," he let it leak.
Oh,
perhaps Trump was playing some 3D
this
politics.
is the thing. I said it's been out there, this story about the Bidens and the investigation, but it's only been on the more right-wing media that's been covering it. The cool thing now is because they're all getting worked up at Trump, now all of a sudden everybody's covering the corruption of the Biden family in Ukraine.
They're turning over every rock.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay. All right, well, we touch a little bit on state, a little bit on local, and a little bit on national here on 3D Politics. Hopefully next week we'll have Oldham back. I'm Tom McKay, your host. I've got David D'Ambroso, David Van Foolja. And don't forget to tune in again next week for 3D Politics.